25 Ryder Cup. This call will be an extension of what we reviewed, some of the content we reviewed last month. Many of you were on a call last month where we had an informational session. The purpose of this call is to go through a few more of the finer details and some of the more granular details that we think you guys should be honing in on at this stage in the planning process. Before we dive in, we want to hear from some of the core staff members who you have been dealing with for 2 to 3 years for this Ryder Cup and who are making all this come to life. The first of which will be Kristen Powers.
Thanks, Murphy. Thank you, everyone, for your time today and for working with you all the last few years. It's been a good run and hard to believe that in the next month we'll all be at the Ryder Cup and all the hard work has paid off. So appreciate you hopping on for today. And then with that, I'll hand over to Matt DeConza.
Thanks, KP. Yeah, just to echo her sentiment, really appreciative of everybody's collaboration on this call. It's been a ton of fun working with all of you in anticipation of next month's Ryder Cup, and we're excited to welcome everybody out to Bethpage. I'll send it over to Larry Sinclair.
Hi, everybody. This is my 5th U.S. Ryder Cup to work on, so I see a lot of familiar faces and names on this call, and I look forward to seeing you next month in New York. You and your guests are going to have just a treat when you get there because it's going to be an awesome environment. So we're looking forward to it. Encourage your guests to wear the red, white, and blue or blue and gold of our team you're supporting. And if you have any questions or needs in the next month, feel free to reach out to any of us. And I will turn it over to Daniel Watts on our team.
Thanks, Larry. Unlike Larry, this is my first Ryder Cup, so excited to be here and excited to be working with all of you. And looking forward to getting to know you guys more, but please don't hesitate to reach out if you guys need anything the rest of the way down the path, and looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. And hopefully the United States is hoisting the Samuel Ryder Cup trophy on Sunday around 6 o'clock, and we all have a drink in our hands, and we're very proud of what we just saw. So thank you all. And like they said, this is going to be a generational event, and we're here to just make sure each of your guests have a memorable experience. And at the end of the day, you're excited and you're achieving that return on your investment for your hospitality purchase. So just a few housekeeping items before we dive in. Please, if you will, just stay on mute for the duration of the call until we pause for Q&A sessions. We will be pausing several moments in time. Also, there is a chat function in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you wish to write anything, Daniel Watts will be our moderator and answering all of those questions aloud. Lastly, this will be recorded and posted on the planner site and circulated accordingly. So if you need to forward it along to any colleagues that couldn't join or review any of the material, we're certainly happy to forward that along. So with that said, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started with today's presentation. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, this is the planner website, which each of you should be familiar with, and it's basically the blueprint for everything that you need to know on behalf of your reserve table inside the Captain's Club. As I mentioned, we're going to go through some of the finer details on today's call that we really think you should be focused on as we close in on this final month before gathering on Long Island. The first of which is going to be the course map. So we touched on this briefly last month, but I want to give you guys a few more updates. The course map is currently not finalized by our operations team or our course architects. They still need to kind of put some of the finer details, but the reason I'm bringing this up is what is finalized are the access codes down here at the bottom of my screen. And these access codes are important because they are the ultimate connector of what your guest will see on their digital ticket and where the venue will be located on the icon on the course map and what it will be referred to come Ryder Cup week. We will get into some of the granular details of what a ticket looks like and how you what is present on the ticket. But these access codes are very important because if I'm a first-time attendee to a golf event and all I have is my digital ticket, it will not only have the location of the Captain's Club or your reserve table venue on the digital ticket, it'll have your company name of your reserve table, your unit number, as well as this access code. So it's very simple to get to the final location of your hospitality venue. Secondarily, we will also have several roamers of information volunteer crews that are roaming the golf course and roaming the property and informing and helping anyone should they get lost or they don't know where to go or how do they get to their hospitality venue, et cetera, et cetera. There will also be several items of signage. So just imagine an amusement park of sorts.
How do I not have?
That will get you everywhere that you need to go. So that is kind of the high level overview of the access codes and the importance of those. And then lastly, this course map is on the 1 yard line and should be finalized in the next couple weeks. And we will be not only updating the planner website, but posting a link here for you to download a PDF of the course map and forward it along to any of your guests so they can become familiar with the property and just aid in their experience before they arrive to Bethpage Black. In the same vein as the course map, we're going to do another touch point on the transportation that we reviewed last month. Obviously, we took a deep dive into the transportation options and all of the granular details with that, but we just want to reiterate all of the transportation plans, and then we'll pause for any questions as it relates to the property or the transportation. With that, Kristen, if you'll give us an overview of the transportation.
For sure. So we're going to start with Lot C. Everyone should have received their parking passes by now. If you have not, please reach out to myself, Daniel, or Matt so we can make sure you get squared away with your Lot C parking passes. So at the purple star, that is Lot C. You'll also see the green star. So any guests that are arriving by helicopter or any guests that are using Fugazi will all be entering in the corporate entrance, which is located in that general area. From there, once they have their ticket scanned, they'll hop in a golf cart and make their way down to the yellow star. It's probably about a 5-minute golf cart shuttle ride where they exit the golf cart where the yellow star is and enter the course that way. If anyone is coming through, getting parked at Jones Beach or taking the LIRR and getting dropped off at Farmingdale train station, they'll be entering at the red star, which is the main entrance. And then anyone taking Uber or Lyft or rideshare of sorts will be at the light blue star, making a short walk over to the red star and entering through the main entrance that way. So that is everything I think that pertains to this group. Feel free to ask any questions. Those that might be using convention store, which would be a larger shuttle, would be getting dropped off at the pink star, which is players right of 15. All the information below dives into more details. So like exact addresses that are located at the back of parking passes or anything pertaining to any of the things I just touched on has more details below. And Murph, you can let everyone know the time they should allow.
Yes, certainly. So each of you on this call are acting as the planners or coordinators on behalf of your hospitality venue. And the most important item that we've communicated to all of our hospitality buyers is to pad about 15 to 20 minutes on all of your guest arrivals. This not only allows for a better and easier experience to getting to the Ryder Cup, but as you can imagine, there are a lot of spectators that are coming to this event. So naturally, the roadways, the railroad, everything will become more volume, more congested, et cetera, et cetera. And the last thing that we want is your guests who you're hosting in your hospitality venue to have a bad experience before they even get to your hospitality venue. So my general rule of thumb is always add about 15 to 20 minutes to your arrival time. And that will keep everyone in a calmer, more happier mindset and not so rushed when they're getting to the property. Once again, as Kristen mentioned, all of this information, all the further details are posted by the various transportation methods. And all of this information has been vetted and approved by our operations team and can be circulated to any external stakeholders. So we highly encourage you to take this information, pass it along to any of your guests and or any of your guest communication, just so you can plan for their experience and their arrival and departure. And then once again, padding that kind of buffer of time so they have a better experience before they get to your hospitality venue. with that said, we'll take a moment to pause for questions about any of the transportation or course map.
Thanks, Murph. First thing we got is inquiring if this is going to be recorded. Yes, this is going to be recorded and posted on the planner website. Murph, where are you going to post this on the planner website?
I will post it under the Know Before You Go information. We'll notify everyone and circulate the recordings as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Sarah Connell is asking if it is too late to book a car service with Fugazi. Yes, the deadline was in July. I think at this point you're more than welcome to inquire, but we can't promise that they're going to have any availability. Meg asking, how about helicopter arrival? You can see the green star that Murphy is highlighting is the helicopter landing zone. They will scan through the same gate, and then a golf cart shuttle down to the yellow star. And then that walk over to hole 1 where the captain's club is will be 10 to 15 minutes. McKenna asking, do parking passes allow come and go access? Yes, those lot C parking passes will allow you to come in and out of that lot, but you will have to park every time you come into the lot. Even if you're dropping someone off, it'll be a park, let everyone out, and then that car is allowed to leave and come back as long as they still have their parking pass hang tag. Liliana, how far is it from lot C to the first green? Is that a golf cart ride as well? Yep. So as we just highlighted, that'll be about a 5 to 7 minute golf cart ride and then a 10 to 15 minute walk to hole 1. So 15 to 25 minute total travel time. Andy, what time does play start on Sunday? Play starts at 12. Correct me if I'm wrong, team. 12:05, I believe, is the first tee time.
And we'll go through a little bit more on the hours of ops, Dan.
Yep. Any additional information on special train schedules on the LIRR? We'll be releasing these train schedules, the additional train times in September. The exact date is not firmed up yet. Carolyn, can you use another car service other than Fugazi to get into lot C? You can utilize another car service, but they will need to utilize a lot C parking pass. And then as I kind of just discussed a minute ago, they will need to physically park in a parking spot, let guests out, and then leave the lot and come back if needed, but they may be in a different spot. So that's just something to communicate with your guests. Marina, can we book our own private shuttle for our guests? And would that be the corporate shuttle terminal? So yes, anything above 15 guests would be, and that pink star, Murph, if you can highlight that where that corporate shuttle terminal is, you would need to book a slip through TCS Transportation. Their contact information is listed under our service providers. So just reach out with them, get a shuttle slip time, and you should be good to go. Emily asks, if we use another car service, does it still need to go through Fugazi? Emily, no. This would be just you need to utilize a lot C hang tag to get into the lot. As I've said, park in a parking spot, come and go as they please.
Thank you, Dan. And one thing to clarify on that, any vehicle using a lot C pass, as Dan mentioned, will need to park, unload the guest, and then they can leave. But that vehicle must fit in a standard space, a 9x18 space. Anything larger than that would need to be outsourced to the private shuttle terminal, which is this purple star, and the convention store. And that information is posted on our services contact page.
This one can go back to the team for anyone that knows the correct answer to this. Stephanie asked, what is the recommended road into lot C? Kristen, maybe any insight into that?
On the back of the lot C parking pass, and Murph, if you want to scroll down to show the address, it will be that address. I don't know the exact road off the top of my head unless someone else on this call on our team does. But that will be the address that you plug into your phone in order to make sure you get on the right road to enter into lot C.
And it is a good question, but obviously this is a major sporting event. And if you've attended a major sporting event, there's traffic control, cops, ushers, etc. There will be large lighted signs ushering every vehicle's in the proper channels. So there will be several ways of getting to the appropriate lot if you type in the appropriate address on your Lot C pass, which is on the reverse side of those passes as well. Dan, in the essence of time, we do want to go on to the next piece of information. So we'll wrap up the questions quickly for the last remaining piece here.
Thanks, Murph. If we have a private bus, would they need a Lot C pass? Scott, that would need to go through TCS Transportation. You'll need to buy a slip through them, confirm the time through TCS if it is bigger than that standard Sprinter van. Same, Cora, same for there. Is there a designated pickup drop-off area in Lot C? You would need to buy that slip through TCS if it is over the standard Sprinter van size. Emily, last question. Can other car services drop off and not use Lot C? Yes, they can drop off. They need to utilize that Lot C hang tag, park in a parking spot, and then guests are welcome to get out and then walk to the corporate scan gate through there.
Thank you, Dan. And then for the group, we will have a general open forum at the end of this call to address any outstanding questions. For the next part of the presentation, we're going to go through a few key areas that are important to note as you're planning your hospitality experience and communicating information to your guests. The next of which is our accessibility services guide. I won't spend too much time on this area, but I want to ensure that each of you know that in PGA of America's effort to make all of our spectator championships a fair and equitable experience, that every concession stand, every hospitality venue, every temporary structure, viewing areas, grandstands are all ADA compliant with either ramps or elevators at those hospitality venues. So if any of your guests require these ADA services, I would highly encourage you to communicate or send this information to those guests, but just know and have that peace of mind that any of your guests arriving to the Ryder Cup everything will be ADA compliant and ensure that they have an equal and fair experience for everyone. The next piece of information that each of you should kind of hone in on now are the hours of operation. As I mentioned earlier in the call, these hours of operation are very much set in stone, but are subject to change, but are very good parameters that you should be communicating to your guests and then adding buffers of time so they can, get to the course in a refreshed manner. They're not rushed. They're watching the first tee, all of that according to plan. And I won't go line by line as we did last month, but I think the question came up of when does play start? When does it end? All of that time, all of those play times are posted here. And I'll just touch on those briefly for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which are the match days. On Friday, we will have morning matches starting at 7 o'clock and then around noon for the afternoon sessions. Same with Saturday. We'll have 7 o'clock starts and then noon starts for the AM and PM sessions. And then Sunday, it is just singles play, so golf does not begin until around 12. So it's important that you're communicating these times so your guests can experience and witness the first tee, but they're also not getting there at the crack of dawn on Sunday when there's not much going on the golf course until noon. The last thing I'll mention on the hours of ops, each of your guests Tuesday through Sunday will have access to that Ryder Cup Plus program that we discussed last month. And that Ryder Cup Plus program is complimentary food and beverage at all of the concession stands, with the exception of alcohol. So inside your hospitality venue, you will have elevated food, you'll have an open bar, all of that those amenities that you've purchased. But if any of your guests want to go out on the golf course and follow a marquee group, they can pop into any concession stand and grab a burger, a hot dog, a soft drink, etc. With the exception of alcohol, they would need to purchase that. So it's just best to communicate that so your guests aren't being shocked if they have to pay for an alcoholic drink out on the golf course or outside of your hospitality venue. The last thing I will mention, because of play on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're anticipating a 5:45 to a 6 o'clock in. It's important to note that the bar goes from 10 o'clock to 6 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. but on Wednesday and Thursday, the bar goes from 9 to 5. These bar hours are edited based on what is going out on the golf course and the play that is going on. And most likely guests can have a drink and watch the matches in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lastly, on Sunday, due to New York state law, no alcohol can be served prior to 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's important that you are communicating all of these hours, familiarizing yourself with these, and communicating them out to your guest. Before we pause for questions, an important piece of information that each of you all should be aware of is our prohibited items list. Our prohibited items is no different than a major sporting event or a concert, be it an NBA, NFL game. Probably the most important call out about our prohibited items is our bag policy. All bags must be 10 by 10 by 10 in dimensions. The bags do not have to be clear. However, if they do not fit that dimension size, those bags will not be allowed on the property. And we do not have any type of locker storage or anything outside of the ground. So if I showed up with a bag larger than 10 by 10 by 10, that bag would be denied entry, and I would either have to return it to my vehicle or a safe keeping outside of the property. So once again, highly encourage you to send this prohibited items to any of your guests so they don't have a bad experience before they even arrive to your hospitality venue. Once again, that's probably the most important call out about our prohibited items, and it's no different than if you attended a major concert or a sporting event, etc. Before we take a moment to pause for questions, I'm going to go over two more pieces of information. This includes the weather policy. So on my screen, you see two weather warning signs. The yellow weather warning sign simply means that if this is posted, there is inclement weather in the nearby area. The nearby area could be 15 miles away or 1 mile away. It's simply a heads up by our on-site meteorologist who is letting everyone on the property know that there is inclement weather in the nearby area. If this yellow weather warning sign is posted, everything is business as usual. The golfers are still playing golf. The bar is still serving. The concession stands, the food is still being served. Everything is operational. However, if the red play suspended sign is posted, this means that play has temporarily paused on the golf course for a certain allotment of time. One benefit for each of you all as hospitality purchasers, that if play is suspended, you can retreat to your hospitality venue. Inside that hospitality venue, everything will be business as usual. The bar will remain open. The food will be being served. All of our staff will be there. All of the TVs will remain on, air conditioned, et cetera, et cetera. All of those amenities that you have purchased will be business as usual in the event of a play suspension. However, given all of our structures are temporary in nature, if a very inclement or severe storm were to pass through, our staff would be letting you know whether it is not safe or not to come into our hospitality venues. If it's just a heavy rain or heavy wind, more often than not, our venues will be able to be occupied. If it's a tornado or something more severe, we will let you know whether it is not safe or not to go into these temporary structures. To aid in that planning experience and to get a heads up, we have created a text alert sign-up form. This form allows you to be added to our official listserv that we use for staff and key personnel that are planning the Ryder Cup. All you have to do is enter your first name, last name, and cell phone number. We ask that you do not add any of your guests to this text alert sign up because we are sending pretty exclusive information sensitive information as it's coming straight from our operations team. But we are allowing you all as planners or coordinators to sign up for this so you can be just included in with as what our operations team is sending out. So highly encourage you to sign up for this form. In the event of any frost delays or weather delays, this would be the direct source coming from our internal team, and we're comfortable with you all receiving those messages. So all that said, we'll take a moment to pause for any questions before we go into the next piece of content. Dan?
Yep. So first question is from Lena. She's asking if the hospitality on course mentioned on is it mentioned on their ticket for the Captain's Club? I'm assuming that's alluding to the on-course concessions program. That will not necessarily be mentioned on their ticket. That's something that I would recommend communicating to all of your clients before that. And that is all food and beverage that is not now non-alcoholic is included around the course.
And Dan, just to follow up on that, there won't be any ticket or wristband needed to access that Ryder Cup Plus program. Everyone will have access to that on the property, so they won't need to show anything. In a similar vein, on your digital ticket that each of your guests receive, we'll get into this a little bit later, but it will have your table number, it will have your company name, and it will have your access code to get into your hospitality venue. So all of it will be very intuitive for the guest once they arrive on site. Dan, go ahead to the next question, please.
Thanks, Murph. Matea, do you have any brochure/document that contains all the information about prohibited stuff that we can share with our guests? Murph, if you want to go back to that page on the planner website, that would be something good that you could just snap a screenshot of and share with your guests. This is the general items that people may try to bring in and are not allowed into the event. Marina asks, are there any available facilities to store suitcases? No, we will not have any on-site facilities for suitcase storage, as this is a little bit of a liability for us to take on that we cannot.
And Dan, just to follow up on that, we have had this question surface quite a bit about luggage. We recommend working with any direct airlines, or there are local vendors who have a luggage storage system, pickup, drop off, etc. We're not going to share that information, but just note that any luggage would be considered prohibited items, just if you were to attend a concert or an NFL game or any of that. And we do not have any accommodations, but there are other third parties that you can work with to get that luggage secured.
Thanks, Murph. Liliana asked, for guests who need to catch a helicopter at the end of the day, how much time do they need to budget to get from the last hole to the helipad? This is probably a little bit of guesswork. I don't know if someone on our team wants to take this, but I would budget plenty of time with the crowds and the golf cart ride back. I'd say at least 45 minutes before that helicopter is supposed to take off.
Yeah, I'll hop in here too, Dan. I believe Blade is wanting folks to be at the Blade Lounge at least 15 minutes prior to takeoff. So I would definitely account for that. And then to get, let's say, from the 18th green there, probably want to allow for 20 minutes. So 35 would be safe, if not a little more.
Thanks, Kristen. Kate asks, is there a better way of getting the editable invitation PDFs? The site doesn't load them fully and only shows them as flatlined image, not an editable PDF when you try to download it. Kate, if you reach out to us, we can make note of this to send these to you after this meeting. Peter asks, are most of the best viewing areas extra? I've been to both the US Opens and the PGA. Yes, Peter, all of the viewing areas that we have listed on our website are extra, but that does not mean that there won't be public grandstands around the course as well. Murph can show you, yep, under additional information and then viewing opportunities, we have all of our available viewing areas for sale listed. So if you have any interest in those, feel free to go in there, click the link and purchase as you please. Murph, that's it for questions here.
Thank you, Dan. There's a few more trickling in if you want to answer those, but I think you're on mute right now.
My bad. I was not scrolled all the way down. Let me Marina asked, Ryder Cup trophy presentation after play. Could you provide a rough estimate of the time? Matt, I'll kick that one to you.
So it's slightly weather and match dependent, but we're estimating the Ryder Cup to wrap up around 5:30 on Sunday, and then the trophy ceremony will take place immediately following play, right by that first tee, same area as the opening ceremonies.
Thanks, Matt. Mariana asks, is there a will call if we haven't had a chance to get pass to clients. We will not have a designated will call, but if you really need something left at the front gate, we can coordinate that for you. So just please reach out to me, Kristen, or Matt. Lauren asks, how can we get in each day with our gifting items? We will not have any storage in the Captain's Club for gifting items to be left over and overnight. We would recommend that all gifting be done off-site for the Ryder Cup and the Captain's Club. To clarify on alcoholic beverages are included in the Captain's Club through the hospitality package. The Ryder Cup Plus program, on the other hand, allow guests to walk the course and enjoy food along with the non-alcoholic beverages. Yes, that is correct. So everything inside the Captain's Club, including alcohol, will be included, elevated food, and then on course you'll have concessions food as well as non-alcoholic beverages included. Anything alcohol-wise out on course will be for purchase. Nick asked, how do we bring in items bought from the PGA Ryder Cup as giveaways, items to our guests? Just said on that. So if you have any more questions on that, please feel free to reach out to us, but there will not be any storage inside of the Captain's Club. Where is public parking? That will be at Jones Beach. That is listed on the transportation page. There is a little snippet in there about public parking, and there will be a shuttle from public parking at Jones Beach to the golf course. Pam asks, how do we receive the viewing area tickets? Pam, we can mail these out to you or give these to you on Tuesday or Wednesday of the Ryder Cup. So just coordinate that with us if you do purchase those, and we can figure out the best way of getting those to you. Dylan asked, will you share the link for the text alert sign up form? Yes, if someone could go grab that and pin that in the chat, that could be helpful. Christy asked, please, can you drop the link? Same question. We'll pin that in the chat for you. Brooke, will the ceremony be viewable from the hospitality venue? No, you will not have a view of the ceremony, but it will be in extremely close proximity. So if you just exit the venue right at the main entrance, and the video board will be right there that they're going to be having the ceremonies on, and you can walk around the other side and view it from there.
Thank you, Dan. Let's take a moment to pause there, go on to the next piece of the content for the presentation, and then we'll pause for the open forum at the end of the call. The next piece of information that we want to review today, and this is the last piece of the presentation before we pause for an open forum, and probably the most important to each of you, are when will you be receiving your hospitality tickets? So beginning next Monday, August 25th, through that entire week, the week of August 25th, all digital tickets are being distributed in waves. Given the high volume of clients and general public spectators that are attending the Ryder Cup, all those tickets are going out in waves. So if you do not receive it right on Monday, August 25th, but they will be all out, going out by the end of the week. So it's very important that if you do not receive your tickets by end of week, please let us know. But all of those will begin going out starting August 25th. Our ticketing platform is SeatGeek. So a few important items about SeatGeek. If you already have a SeatGeek account, those tickets will automatically be uploaded into your account. If you do not have a SeatGeek account, we have taken the liberty of creating you one with the email address that you had submitted several months ago, that we use that email address to go ahead and do all of the heavy lifting on creating your account. And then we'll go into the next steps of how you access your SeatGeek account here in a minute. But if you remember several months ago, you had submitted an email address, and if that needs to change or any of those edits are needed, please reach out to us ASAP, because we have already taken the liberty of creating you a SeatGeek account with that email address. So starting next week, as I mentioned, all of those tickets are going out in waves. And how do I get my tickets? That's the golden question. So each of you will receive an email from info@SeatGeek.com. It's very important that if you have strict firewall or security issues with your company, that you have your IT department whitelist info@SeatGeek.com, just to make sure that this email address isn't blocked or goes into spam, because this will be the main notifier that your tickets are available and ready for distribution. Once again, be on the lookout from an email from info@SeatGeek.com. Once you receive that email, you're simply going to follow the steps in the email on to access your account. This process takes about 45 seconds to 1 minute to reset your password and get into your SeatGeek account. So we'll just go through those natural steps now. So next week, I've received an email from info@SeatGeek.com. I'm going to follow the steps, click connect account, hit the next item, which is register. And I'm going to use that same email address that I had submitted to PGA several months ago to create my SeatGeek account. So I'm entering my email address, my first name, last name, and a unique password. This unique password changes the ownership from the PGA of America to you as the company. We've gone ahead and created a password, but you will need to reset it and transfer the ownership. Once I'm following these steps, I simply click connect account, and the transfership has been gone from the PGA to you as the company. Once again, this process takes about 45 seconds to 1 minute. All you have to do is follow the steps in the email that you receive, and it's very, very intuitive of how you get into your account. It's not complicated. It's no different than any major ticketing system that companies use or concerts use or sporting events use, etc. So those are the 5 steps of how you get into your SeatGeek account. Once again, very intuitive. But after you get into your account, I'm sure many of you are curious about how you transfer tickets, how you manage those tickets, etc. So a few important items about the management process. After I have sent a ticket to the final recipient and he or she accepts that ticket, that ownership is no longer resides in me as the planner. So I cannot cancel any tickets or retract tickets that have been accepted by the end user. However, if a ticket is still pending, let's say I send Daniel a ticket and he has not accepted it, I am able to cancel that transaction. These tickets have no transfer limit. So let's say I send a ticket to Dan for Saturday of the Ryder Cup. He becomes sick and can no longer attend. He would simply need to send that ticket back to me, and I can send it to another person who can attend the Ryder Cup. And this ensures that you all have 100% redemption of all your tickets. All of them are being utilized, and there's no valuable tickets going to waste. The last thing I'll mention about the tickets, everyone, regardless of age, will need a hospitality ticket to enter into the venue. So this is important to ask. Let's say you're inviting a family of 4. The husband and wife have 2 hospitality tickets, but the children do not. Those kids would be denied access into the hospitality venue, as everyone entering into any private space on the golf course will need a hospitality ticket. So it's important that you're asking those questions as you're firming up this process. So I know that was a lot of information on the ticket front, but just know that it is a very easy process, and each of you all as planners have a lot of capabilities to see all of your tickets, retract tickets if they're pending, or understand who has the tickets in their final holding at any point in time. So with that said, we'll pause for any ticket questions right now. Okay, it looks like maybe Dan's Wi-Fi has gone out. Matt or Isaiah, if you can handle the questions in the chat.
Yeah, sure. Let me just see. I don't see too many. There's a couple on tickets here. Murph, I don't know if you want me to just do the ticket ones or kind of where we left off previously.
Where we left off previously, and that would have been, Dan, if you remember from, looks like you're not
Perfect.
frozen anymore.
Yep. Left off with.
I think, Dan, I'll just hit quickly on the gifting protocol. So for anybody that plans to hand out any client gifting within the Captain's Club, you would need to purchase a planner staff badge to get any of those items through the gates, as traditionally anything you would bring, whether it's a large bag or some of those specific items, would be on a prohibited items list. So if you did want to bring anything to give out to your guests during the day, you would just need that planner staff badge to be able to get it on site. And then, as Dan mentioned, we are not providing any storage within the Captain's Club. So that goes for shipping anything to us as well. So if you do plan on handing anything out, we just ask for you to bring it in each day.
Thanks, Matt. Gina did ask the best bathrooms near Captain's Club. We will have full executive restrooms at the Captain's Club. These will definitely be the best restrooms for your guests to use. Brian asked, will the on-course merchandise shop offer a direct shipping option like at the Masters? I'll kick that to you, Kristen.
I don't believe so. If you're looking to purchase any type of merchandise and then ship it, I would suggest reaching out to Kristen O'Lordy prior to the Ryder Cup. I don't believe there are shipping availability once you are at the shop week of the Ryder Cup.
Thanks, Kristen. Amanda asks, is that the same email we provided with the information on where to send parking passes? So there were two separate fields. You could have input two different emails. If you want to follow up with us just to confirm which email you put in, we're happy to clarify that information for you. For a large group arriving together, is it better to have one person hold and scan all the digital tickets, or should each person carry their own individual ticket? This would be easier to send out each individual ticket to your guests just in case they get split up, but definitely flexible to do this whichever way you feel your guests would prefer to do it.
Yes, Dan, and just to clarify on that, let's say you wanted to send a bulk amount of tickets to one singular person and they're all coming in the gate together, that will be fine. So let's say I was going to the Ryder Cup, I could have 5 tickets on my phone and all 5 guests could walk in with me. But we just recommend that everyone has their own digital ticket in case they get split off from the group or if they arrive to the hospitality venue later.
Thanks, Murph. Ruth asked, how much is the cost to get seating at a hole or grandstand? This will be listed on the planner website under the additional viewing opportunities. There are 3 different options that we currently have on sale. So feel free to go take a look at those different options and the pricing on those. Arena asks, what details do we need from our guests in order to transfer the tickets? Murph, I'll kick that one back to you.
Sure. So it's very simple. All you need is a first name, last name, email address, or phone number. So a few helpful tips for when you're sending out these tickets and manage your inventory. I recommend doing the bulk amount of transferring of the tickets from a laptop or your main computer, just because you have the larger screen and can see all of the digital ticket inventory. However, once all of us get on site, and let's say it's Friday of the Ryder Cup, you can simply transfer tickets by entering someone's cell phone number. And that's the bare minimum information I need from the mobile app. So basically, email address or phone number is all the information needed. And it's a very intuitive system once you get all the SeatGeek information downloaded and you get into your account.
Thanks, Murphy. And then just to jump back to Brian's question, you learn something new every day. We do have direct shipping from the merchandise tent. So that will be there and available if you do need it. So I just misspoke on that.
Thanks, Kristen. That's a good clarifier. Liliana, if guests have any issues with their ticket, who is the point person to help resolve? So obviously we will be here to troubleshoot, but the main point person for you on site would be in the ticket box office of the entrance that you come in, whether that is the corporate entrance or the corporate shuttle entrance or the main entrance. We will have designated PGA of America ticketing help in our box offices.
Yes, and just to clarify, SeatGeek is sending a team of support staff both on the hospitality and the general public forum. So we will have SeatGeek support staff that are available on site to troubleshoot any questions. But we are here as well to walk you through any of the ticketing nuances that you experience. But we've done the PGA Championship, the Senior PGA, the Women's PGA this year with SeatGeek, and we've had no trouble so far, knock on wood. So, but just know it is a good system and there is on-site support for any of the ticket issues.
Thanks, Murph. I'm actually going to kick this one back to you. Pam asked to confirm all of our attendees will need to download the SeatGeek app, correct?
Yes. So let's say I was attending a SeatGeek concert or at the Ryder Cup, for instance. Anytime I send a ticket, I'm going to be notified via email or text that Dan has sent me a Ryder Cup ticket. It's going to prompt me to download the SeatGeek app to have that ticket displayed and through that platform. So anyone attending a Ryder Cup or a SeatGeek event must have a SeatGeek app downloaded to house that ticket, and it will be prompted anytime that a ticket is sent to the end user. And that app can be accessed through the traditional SeatGeek app you download from the Apple or Android store, or it will also be present in the Ryder Cup app. There is a click through on the Ryder Cup app that takes you right to the SeatGeek platform.
Thanks, Murph. And then another one that kind of tags along with that. Sarah asks, if someone is not able to download the app, is there an option to have a printed ticket? If you want to answer that one as well.
There will be no printed tickets for the property. However, we do have guests that attend our events that don't have an iPhone or an Android, and they still have a traditional flip phone. If they visit the box office, they are able to trace that a ticket was sent to their email address or their phone number, and then provide them a thermal ticket to get into the property. But there's not a paper option that you can provide ahead of time. So let's say someone attended the event, did not have a smartphone, they went up to the box office, our on-site ticketing team would be able to do that on-site, just not in advance of the Ryder Cup.
Thanks, Murph. Next question, can you please share the planner/staff badge link? I believe someone is going to drop that in the chat, but just a clarifier on that, that is a weekly only badge. It's a physical credential. So if you're a daily option, then not applicable to you. Veronica asked, can we track if a guest has accepted a ticket? Yes, you can track if a guest has accepted a ticket, and you will have access to pull that ticket back if they have not accepted it. Pam asked, are planner staff badges transferable? Yes, Pam. Staff badges will be fully transferable. They will be a generic company name listed on the staff badge and then not tethered to any specific person, so you can pass those around on different days.
Dan, just to jump in here real quick. I know we're kind of into the open forum Q&A session of today's call. I just want to reiterate for these last 10 minutes. So we have wrapped up all of the important content that we're going to review today. So any of those who are confident and have everything with kind of buttoned up with the Ryder Cup, we thank you for joining today. We will stay on for the remainder 10 minutes here to answer any questions and have an open Q&A session. But thank you all for attending, and please don't leave if you're not comfortable with any of those questions. We're going to use this last 10 minutes as an open forum. And thank you very much, and we cannot wait to see you all next month. So Dan, let's continue to go through these questions.
Thanks, Murph. Lauren asked, do we have an instruction doc on how clients can download tickets? And then also asked for planner staff badge. Is that $1,700 per ticket per day as well? No to the $1,700 per ticket per day for the staff badge. That is $5,000 for the week per badge. Murph, if you want to hit on an instruction doc for download on tickets.
Yes. So on tickets, we're not going to go through the step-by-step instructions, but we have provided recordings that have been generated by SeatGeek for Apple iOS devices, Android devices, or web devices, and they walk you through how you send that ticket to all of your end recipients. But once again, you just need that email address or phone number, first name, last name, to send those tickets out. But we have provided the instructions here if you wish to learn about it ahead of time.
Thanks, Murphy. Kristen, this one's coming to you. Will there be kosher food on site?
Our caterer is currently working through the logistics of getting kosher meals on site. And once we have a finalized update for you all, we'll be happy to share that with everyone and next steps into securing kosher food if needed.
Thanks, Kristen. Taylor asks, who do I reach out to for a pass to the corporate shuttle terminal? I fear our Sprinter van will be too big. Isaiah also can drop in that email, and it is also listed on our website under services and private shuttle transportation. That will be Danielle Miller will be the contact from TCS Transportation to reach out to for a shuttle slot pass. Liliana, are there restrooms in Lot C? I'll kick that to you, Kristen.
There will be restrooms in the corporate entrance, and I believe that there will be a bank of restrooms at the back of Lot C, but the corporate entrance will definitely have restrooms for your guests that are coming and going.
Thanks, Kristen. Stephanie asks, will they be banded at the front gate for hospitality, or will they have to scan their tickets again at hospitality in case individuals get separated between the main gate and hospitality? So tickets will be scanned at whatever gate they enter in, whether that's the corporate entrance, the main entrance, or the shuttle entrance. And then at the front of the Captain's Club, we'll have PGA of America staff and a team of interns wristbanding and scanning guests again. So that wristband will be given at the entrance of Captain's Club, will allow guests to come and go throughout the rest of the day. Jennifer asks, are wristbands being provided at the door? Yep, they are provided at the front of Captain's Club. Lena asks, where on site will SeatGeek be if needed? SeatGeek will be positioned in the box offices, whether that is the corporate entrance. Murphy, will we have one up there? Just confirming that.
We will have a ticketing support team at the corporate entrance and the main entrance. Yes.
Perfect. So they'll be positioned at each of our box offices around the course. Veronica asks, do you recommend guests downloading the Ryder Cup app? Will it have the course map or any other information? Murph, if you want to hit a little more detail on the Ryder Cup app as a whole, that might be beneficial.
Sure. Yes. My recommendation is have your guests download the Ryder Cup app, because there are helpful items such as following up with the current play that's going on in the Ryder Cup. They can follow on with all the action. There's an interactive course map, and there's also a pass-through link to your SeatGeek profile. So it's a one-stop shop app that we recommend everyone download in the iOS or Android app store.
Thanks, Murph. I'm going to send this one back to you as well. Would you then suggest to create a SeatGeek account with the email we provided for the PGA/Ryder and not use our personal email?
Some companies do use vanity emails that say company, Ryder Cup, etc. at gmail.com. It's not a tidbit I would get caught up on if that's my recommendation, because you do want your guests to know who the tickets are being sent from, a recognizable name, and all of that information. So I would just recommend using the email address that we have created for you, and that all of those tickets will be distributed starting next week, that you can send those out to your final user.
Great. Thanks, Murph. Anna asks, will an email be sent out with this information post-call? This recording will be posted on our planner website, and then all of this information will be housed in the planner website as well. So if you need a link to that, that is posted and pinned at the top of the chat. Confirming if you have 2 reserve tables, will they be together? When is the deadline to add on extra individual tickets per table? Yes, if you did not denote those 2 tables to be separated, those tables will be grouped together. You have the ability to purchase additional hospitality tickets up until the day of the event. Murph, if you could just hover where those links are to purchase those additional tickets, they're under tickets and staff badges. So just go down and scroll down to your link, which would be the 10 guest Captain's Club reserve table, then purchase any of those up until the day of the event. Brian asks, am I able to bring in a small laptop backpack with a planner badge? Yes, Brian, you're able to bring in a laptop and a backpack with that planner badge. As long as you show that at the gate, they'll let you through with those small electronic devices in a larger bag than what is normally allowed in. Will there be any Wi-Fi available in the hospitality space? Yes, there will be Wi-Fi available. QR codes and then username, network, and password will be posted by the entrance of the venue. Lauren said, my question wasn't about instructions on transferring. It was for instructions on downloading the tickets for recipients. Murph, if you want to hit back on that one.
Sure. So hopefully I'm understanding this question right. And if I'm not, please stop me. But once I distribute a ticket to the end user, he or she will be prompted to accept that ticket through the SeatGeek app. So everyone naturally will have to download the app in order to access their ticket and enter the property. So it's a natural kind of requirement upon accepting the ticket. So hopefully I understood it not, but it understood the question. But if not, happy to clarify further.
Sorry. Yeah, I just meant like for other sporting events, it's usually like, all right, you have step one, download the app. Step two, you have to create like a username and password. And if it's the same email that you got the ticket at, will it automatically just show up in your account once you create it?
Got it.
Usually
Yes,
there's like
ma'am.
a one-sheeter that just tells clients what to do.
Sure. So if I'm a first-time SeatGeek user and I've never had a ticket sent to me via SeatGeek, I will be prompted to create an account and access and download that ticket. If it's sent to my SeatGeek account that I already have associated with my email address, that ticket will be automatically in my account, but I will be notified that a ticket has been sent to me for the Ryder Cup. As far as training, I would just utilize the primary SeatGeek instructions on their website if you need to pass it along to any guests to become familiar with those. And those are just posted on the SeatGeek website.
Thanks, Murph. Kristen, I'm going to come back to you for this one. Can you very shortly just explain the Ryder Cup Plus program in detail? Is it just access to the grounds? Also, there will be no issues with guests scan their tickets both Tuesday for practice rounds and also on Sunday. I have a few different questions in there, but happy to break it up.
So for the Ryder Cup Plus, that is our new name for our standard grounds ticket. The Ryder Cup Plus is for all those that have it will have access to concession stands where food and non-alcoholic beverage are included. There will be alcohol for purchase. So that's the first part. If your guest, it will be a different type of ticket for if you have a hospitality ticket versus a Ryder Cup Plus ticket throughout the week. So this should be shown on the tickets, which is which. In terms of everyone having access to the Ryder Cup Plus program, that is everyone on site. So it'll only, from a wristband perspective, you'd only need your hospitality wristband to get to and from your hospitality. But all guests on site at the Ryder Cup are included in the Ryder Cup Plus program. Daniel, let me know if there's a part of that I missed.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it there. Feel free to come back to us if she didn't hit all the points that you were looking for. Wendy asked, can you please provide Kristen's email? That should be dropped right there. If you have any inquiries about parking passes, please feel free to email any of us, whether it's Kristen, Matt, or myself. Gina asks, is the wristband how they get free food / non-alcoholic drinks around the course? Yep, sounds good. I think Kristen did just hit on that, so should be all good there. Catherine, sorry if I missed this, but is the planner staff badge a physical pass? Yes, this is a physical credential. It will have your company name printed on it, so it's fully transferable and not tethered to one person. As Murphy's showing, there is more information on how those staff badges operate on our planner website. Gina is asking if there are any areas for corporate staff passes to sit with a laptop besides the Captain's Club reserve tables. I will kick that back to you, Murphy.
No, we would recommend utilizing the table. It is important to note, having done this several times, that table pretty much never has full occupancy. You do have 10 chairs at your table, but most people are either walking around the golf course, visiting the PGA shops or the Ryder Cup shops, or out spectating. So it's very rare that all 10 of your guests are at that table at one point. So you would not really be taking up any real estate at your table. I wouldn't be worried about that instance.
There's also ancillary seating throughout the club as well. So if your guest hypothetically, or if the table were to be full, there are soft seating in the club that is not reserved.
Thanks, Kristen and Murph. Last question we have here is what viewing access is included for the hospitality tables? I can take this one. Those additional viewing opportunities are listed under additional information. These are not included with the Captain's Club table, but an additional purchase. There is general public grandstands around the course that are open to anyone with a ticket. That's all for now, Murph.
Thank you, Dan. Well, good job answering all those questions, and thank you to all of those that stood on or stayed on the call. We're really excited to have each of you all on site next month, and this is going to be a generational event, and we're really excited. So please don't stop emailing us or calling us or texting us. We want to make sure all T's are crossed and I's dotted up until next month. Thank you all.